Good day, Amherstburg. It's myself, Laura D'Alessandro.
And it's Ron Giofu from the Rivertown Times, back here on the airwaves of 107.9 FM The Bird for the Rivertown Times Week in Review.
Another week, another heat dome. It is a hot one.
Yeah, hot and muggy out there, but it's almost August. Well, still July, but we're almost in August, so I guess what do you expect, I guess?
Yeah, we really soaked up the heat days this year for sure. I was saying to you the other day, I'm surprised we haven't had a big storm roll through with all this heat and humidity. It's a wonder.
Yeah, we had our share of thunder and lightning on Monday, but yeah, just that one really big one. Yeah, it's just, hopefully it's, maybe it's coming, maybe it's not, who knows, but...
Yeah, I know up northern Ontario, Godrich Way, they had a tornado over the weekend, so they can keep it.
Exactly, yeah, the really foul stuff can stay elsewhere.
That's right. Well, the heat was no exception on Sunday when the car show came to town. It was held in Toddy Jones Park and spilled over into the downtown core. Although the display of cars was down slightly this year, the crowd attendance was on par for years gone by.
Yeah, I think the early estimates are between 580 and 590 cars, or vehicles, I should say. There were trucks there too, motorcycles, and all kinds of cool stuff. And yeah, but the streets were packed. I mean, it was a hot one out there, but I was out there on a couple of different occasions. And yeah, you could feel it. It was a really warm day, but it was also a really good day. So lots of classic cars out there on the streets from all different eras, and a lot of people from Amherstburg, but a lot of people from out of town as well. I know one of the winners came in from Kitchener, and there's somebody who came in from as far as Ottawa.
Holy smokes.
Drove down for the Amherstburg's Gone Car Crazy show. And I know there were a lot of people from Michigan that came over, and so that's cool to see. There's about 16 different awards, I think I counted. And don't hold me to that, but about 16 different awards, and we have most of the photos, if not all of them, on our Facebook page. So make sure you check that out, and check out the paper. We've got a couple pages of coverage in this week's edition of the RTT. It's on our website, www.rivertowntimes.com, and you can see the crowds, the cars, and all the festivities of the Amherstburg's Gone Car Crazy show. Great job by Scott Elliott of the organizing committee and the rest of his group. They did a fantastic job, and looking forward to 2026 already.
Is there a monetary prize when you get awarded an award? Like, do you get something for it?
Not that I'm aware. They have they hand out trophies and stuff like that.
Boy,
they seem pretty nice. Mark DeMilo, I should mention, of Leamington, won the Pauly Award. That's named for car show co-founder Paul Reno, former town councillor. His wife Eleanor was one of the presenters of the Pauly Award, and he had a 1970 Cuda that was on display. It was green in color on the front page of this week's RTT, if you want to know what it looks like. It's also on our social media, a picture of it at least. Congratulations to Mark, and great job winning the Pauly.
And Eleanor, she was involved in the car show for a very long time.
Yeah, I think she's still volunteering for it, but I know she headed it up for many years, and it's great to see her still active and still involved and still lending her expertise.
That's awesome. The week of machinery continued. You were out at the Essex County Steam and Gas Engine Museum. They were gearing up for the event that they have coming up in August. They were having their demonstration of the binding of the wheat last week. Yeah,
I was on a field on Concession 4 North, actually, and I know the field is farmed by local farmer Tony Simon, and he gave a little piece of it to the Steam and Gas Engine Museum. And what they do is they take a binder and towed by an antique tractor, but the binder itself is about 103 years old. It's a 1922 Massey Harris, and I'm not quite that old. I know you're thinking about it.
My tongue is bleeding. I'm biting it.
Okay, I just gave you an opportunity
You
there.
looked at me, and I had nothing locked and loaded. I was just going to mind my own business.
All right, I'll open the door for you. And anyways, this 122-year-old binder helped to actually take the wheat off, and I can't explain the internal mechanisms of it, but there's twine inside, and it ties the bundles and pushes them out, and about a dozen guys with pitchforks came along and stuck them on a couple wagons, and what they do with that binded wheat, they take it back to Coan Park, where the museum is located, and they will use it in the threshing machine, an antique threshing machine that will be fired up and used during this year's Steam and Gas Engine Show, which is August 8th through 10th at Coan Park at the museum. And so stay geared up for that. And I know the parade's on the Saturday of the show, so that's at 9 a.m. through beautiful downtown McGregor, down Walker Road, and down Concession 11 into Coan Park. So make sure you check that out. And it's a lot of fun, and they're just getting ready for it. And we've got more details in this week's issue of the Rivertown Times, I believe on page 3, and it's definitely on our website as well, rivertowntimes.com.
And there's an ad on page 13. This is actually the 39th annual Steam and Gas Engine Show. That's amazing.
Yeah, they've been going for a while. Some of these folks are still
involved.
involved.
School with, eh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I knew I'd walk into one sooner or later.
I couldn't help myself.
I know one of the volunteers. I want to give a special shout out to Morris Kurzek, and all the volunteers, but Morris usually is one of the ones that helps tip me off about when they're doing the binding of the wheat. And Morris will be 90 this year, and he's still involved doing what he can for the Steam and Gas Engine Museum. He's donated a lot of his equipment to the museum, so great job by Morris. Great job by all the volunteers with the Steam and Gas Engine Museum, and look for their show 8th through the 10th at Coan Park, Friday through Sunday.
We attended the Midsummer Night Dinner last Wednesday night. That was an event fundraiser for the Briarswood Youth Camp hosted at GL Heritage. With the help of a last-minute anonymous donor, the camp was able to reach their $4,000 goal for the evening. It was a fun night all in all. It was hot, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a warm one, but it turned out to be a nice evening. Good food, good entertainment, and just good company all the way around. So Briarswood's a great place to send your kids to camp, as evidenced by the fact most of their camps are full. And they're running summer camps every week during the summer out at 6480 Texas Road, the Briarswood Youth Camp. And the Midsummer Dinner was just a way to help fundraise for it. They want to really renovate their activity center out there, and they're looking to fundraise for it. And unfortunately, they didn't get an Ontario Trillium grant this year, but I'm sure they're going to keep trying and look for all kinds of grants. So and I'm sure they're always accepting donations. Make sure you help them out, and if you can, that goes to a great cause. And again, if they may still have a space here or there in some of the camps, worth a shot heading over to briarswood.com or email camps@briarswood.com to check availability. And again, most of the camps are filled up, but there could be a spot here and there. And if you're looking to send your child to camp, by all means, see what Briarswood has to offer.
My daughter Aria spent Monday and Tuesday out there, and to drop them off in the morning, they're very excited, and then pick them up at the end of the day, they're very tired. So I think that's a true testament to a good camp.
I was there a couple of weeks ago for their Color Wars camp, and they had fun, they got dirty, and they just learned a lot during the camps out at Briarswood Youth Camp.
I had a chuckle yesterday though when I dropped Aria off. They had a lost and found table. There was one shoe.
Yeah. You think if you're hopping around, if you're hopping around on one foot, and you think you kind of
actually look like yours. You were at the Color Wars. Did you come back with one shoe?
I may have. You never know. The chalk dust may have went to my brain, and I didn't realize I blew a tire and lost a shoe. So maybe I'll have to head out there and take a look at their inventory of lost footwear.
Check the table. The Economic Development Committee met earlier this month. The topic of the Heritage Conservation District was brought up, and the committee is going to look into further discussions on how the HCD could possibly bring in revenue for the town in the future.
The committee is going to have a brainstorming session for themselves, and they're going to find out what incentives they can offer businesses, how they can leverage the Heritage Conservation District. Of course, that was passed several weeks ago by Town Council, and now the committee is looking to basically take that and say, how do we really make this work for the business community and for the residents of downtown Amherstburg? They want people to maintain the heritage buildings in the core and in the district itself, and they're looking to possibly incentivize businesses, homeowners to maintain the heritage, keep the town's heritage look going, and make sure it works for all sides involved. So we got a full story on that in this week's issue of the Rivertown Times, and make sure you check that out and on the website or in the print edition.
A touch of sports. Not too much going on in the way of sports right now, but there's news coming out of the Admirals organization that they've made a trade with the Wheatley Sharks as they're approaching training camp for the winter season. Yeah,
training camp comes up in August. They're going to start that up at the Vollmer Center in LaSalle, and before obviously moving operations back to the Libro when they get the ice put in. But trade made last week, a 1-for-1 trade, and Madden Droulard is the newest member of the Amherstburg Admirals. GM Andrew Sykes picked him up from the Sharks in exchange for Cole Valancourt. Full story from Fred Groves on page 11 of this week's issue of the Rivertown Times. He mentions that Cole had requested a trade to his hometown team, and the Admirals accommodated him and brought in Droulard, who apparently Sykes had been looking at for a couple of years now and wanted to bring over to the Admirals, and finally got him. So I got a story on that, and also some photos from the recent cornhole tournament that was last Friday night in McGregor at the Columbian Club Hall, and so we got coverage on that, and so make sure you check that out. All part of this week's issue of the Rivertown Times. It's also in the sports section of our website, rivertowntimes.com, in case you didn't catch it the first few times I said it.
We should have a tally. I should start drinking every time you say the website. You have to drive me home.
Yeah, the show would get really interested at the end.
Also, it's kind of funny. Like the header for that story doesn't exactly go with the photos. You really got to read it to know why they're playing cornhole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it looks like it was a good time. We were talking about the cornhole league or events that they put on out in McGregor, and they're really fun. I did the one for Rotary. It's a good time out there if you get the chance to go play.
It is. I know they're having others coming up, and I know they just recently also had one for the Windsor Lancers women's softball team. I know there are 4 girls for women, I should say, are from Amherstburg. Check out the Columbian Club and find out when the next tournament is and how you can register.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Pickleball is in full swing on the new courts at the Libro Center. The men's league held their tournament last weekend, and the women are set to take the courts this weekend.
Yeah, Saturday morning, the women take the court. It was a week ago this past Monday, so that would have been, the 21st of July? I don't have my calendar in front of me, as you can obviously tell.
Sounds about right. We'll go with that.
Yeah, pretty much. And so they had the men's tournament on the Monday night, and it was between teams from Tecumseh and Amherstburg. On the men's side, Tecumseh won it, so we'll see if the ladies can avenge us on Saturday morning or at the pickleball courts at the Libero Center. We got a story, again, on page 11 of this week's RTT, so make sure you check that out and find out what it's all about.
Do they have refs in pickleball?
Not that I've seen, no. I think it's just
the honor system.
Pretty much, yeah, a friendly tournament, and don't ask me how you scored. It ended, like, the men's tournament ended up, I believe it was 81-59, I want to say. Again, how they come up with those scores, I don't know. Yeah, it was 81-59 as I'm rereading my story here. And again, I'm not familiar with the scoring and the rules of pickleball, so again, that's one of the things you might want to check out if you're interested in getting involved in the sport.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat to see. All right, turning our attention to the weekend, not before the weekend, I guess. The KFC is hosting a bingo. That's going to be on Thursday, and the cash prize is $1,700. There's an ad on page 13 if you want more information about that. So that's Thursday night bingo, and it says the jackpot must go. So that's Thursday at 7 at the KFC. Also, we have Living History at Fort Malden is going to be this weekend. I think you're going to go down and check that out, right, Ron?
Yeah, I'll be checking that out and finding out all the musket firings, the artillery displays from different eras of the military encampments. They got all kinds of stuff going on. I was there last year. It was a good time. If you go on the Rivertown Times Facebook page, Rivertown Times Amherstburg, you can see a shot of soldiers lined up, and I got it at last year's Living History Festival. So I'm sure more of that's on tap for this weekend, August 2nd and 3rd. Make sure you head down to the fort and find out what's going on in terms of military history from days gone by.
I really hope the weather breaks. I feel so bad for the characters that have to dress up in the period pieces. Those clothes must be so hot.
I know. I give them a lot of credit. I usually wear either a golf shirt if it's on the weekend.
Or no shirt at all.
No, I wouldn't do that to the folks. But wear a t-shirt or something like that just to get something airy on. And
it's polyester too, or probably that they're wearing, or wool. Like, it's got to be so hot.
So all the credit in the world to those reenactors, and my goodness, they must lose 10 pounds just sweating it off on a weekend like that. But make sure to go out and say thank you to those.
Yeah, exactly.
To those reenactors. A lot of them are students, and check it out. And I'm going to check it out, and I'm kind of excited to do so. So make sure you head down to the fort.
The Mission Golf Tournament, that's coming up on August 16th. They're really putting the call out if you're looking to golf, you're looking to volunteer, you're looking to sponsor. They're really hoping to get this last kick, a couple more weeks before that happens on the 16th out at Dominion. So if you're interested, please reach out to them. We do have an ad in the paper this week, page 14, and there's a QR code. They couldn't make it easier if you're interested in signing up. There's a QR code, sign up right there, and it'll be a fun day. Hopefully, like I said last week, hopefully they get to golf this year. The last 2 years I was on the committee, it rained. So I'll take a step back this year and see what happens.
Yeah, you brought your black cloud with you, but you still raise money anyways.
Follows me everywhere.
Yeah, so anyway, we also have I put the poster on our social media sites at the RTT, so with a link to how to register. So
what's that website? What's the website?
Well, I put it on our social media page, but
is it on the website?
And we can get it on
the we probably should.
Yeah, and that website again.
What is it?
www.rivertowntimes.com.
All right, so that's pretty much a wrap on things going on this weekend and upcoming weekends. Monday is a holiday. It's Civic Long Weekend. I can't believe we're already here. I feel like it's a wind down to summer. Oh, one other thing that's happening on the 2nd. It's
Amherstpalooza from 12 to 8 p.m. All kinds of musicians down at the Clock Tower. So make sure that's on Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
On Saturday the 2nd. So we should mention that as well. The night market this Friday from 5 to 9. But Amherstpalooza and all the musicians that go with it, Saturday the 2nd from noon until 8 p.m.
I caught it last year. It was really cool. They had like a mariachi type band. It was really fun. It brings a lot of people down. It's really cool. Hopefully the weather holds for that too. So this is actually, it still is a Civic Long Weekend. So we will be closed on Monday. We're going to take the long weekend. It feels kind of like the unofficial closing of summer. I know Labor Day is officially the end of summer for most people, but this is kind of that testament of things are slipping away. I don't want it to. But with the Civic Long Weekend, our deadlines have changed. Instead of Friday, they're Thursday, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and our office will be closed on Monday. And I don't know if people have noticed, and I don't even know if we've talked about it on the air, that we close now Fridays at noon for the summer. So that will continue through Labor Day. So if you're looking to reach out to us after noon on Friday, give us a call, shoot us an email. That would be the best way because the office is closed.
Yeah, regular office hours Monday through Thursday are still the same. Those are 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But as Laura said, it's 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Fridays. We've been doing it the last few weeks, and we continue out throughout the month of August and resume regular office hours in September.
All right, Ron, anything else?
No, that's it for me. Just a shout out to Louise and Ashley for delivering the papers again around the community. We're in, obviously, Amherstburg. We're in Essex, Harrow, and LaSalle as well. So make sure you pick up your copy. And I've already plugged the website about 18 times, so you know where to go. And And again, we're just a quick little tease. Make sure you check out next week's issue of the check it out every week, but
specifically next week.
Next week, we're going a little retro, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. Big things happening, It's a milestone for us next week.
It is, yeah. So stay tuned and obviously pick up this week's paper, but make sure you check out next week's as well.
All right, Amherstburg, have a great day.
Have a great day. Have a great week, and we're back on the airwaves of CKBG 107.9 The Berg FM at 12 noon every Wednesday, and the replay at 4:30 p.m.